40 Chocolate Bunny Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you the first of two of my Easter tutorials of this year. This one is going to be a chocolate rabbit. So it has just a plain chocolate rabbit with a nice little pink bow, and then you can take off his ears. There's just a little magnet in there, and underneath it says, because he can't hear anymore because his ears have obviously been eaten, which is the part I always start with, and so it just seemed fitting. I hope you guys like this, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. So I'm going to begin with an overlay of a light blue acrylic. I wanted it to be very light Eastery color, so I went with a blue acrylic background and then a light pink bow. However, this color is not very tied into place. You can switch it up, do whatever you want, but I would kind of stick with those pastel Eastery colors. A pale yellow would look really good, or you could do pink in the background or lavender or whatever your heart desires. But while that background color is still wet, you want to add a magnet into it under where you envision your ears will go. Then encase the entire nail with a layer of clear acrylic. Putting that magnet in the nail is kind of a crucial part at this stage. Otherwise, you're gonna have to create a hole in it later and then fill it in, because that magnet is necessary to hold your ears in place when you want your rabbit to look whole. So just encase the nail, make sure it's nice and strong, and that the nail is built up to the height of the magnet, because you don't want the magnet to stick up past where the nail is. And then file your nail into shape. When you're filing over the magnet, if you do want to file all the way to the magnet, you're going to be able to tell, because you're filing metal then, and so it kind of sounds different. So you'll know and then stop when you get to that point, and then buff over the nail with a finer buffer bit just to make sure it's nice and smooth and easy to work with, and has a really velvety texture. Then with brown acrylic, you're going to want to start sculpting your rabbit. And so I'm going to begin with the chest area and then down the front leg. So that's the area that's actually the farthest from the viewer. So that's the area you want to be the thinnest with your 3D. So that's what you're going to start with. So just start with that. And these are all very simple, soft shapes. There's not much detail in a chocolate bunny per se. Some of them actually now the molds are phenomenal. But generally speaking, I wanted to kind of keep it just very smooth looking. So don't worry too much, and when you're sculpting this, use actually fairly large beads so you can try to do a whole area in just one or two. So I did that whole front area, tried to get it all done, in one or two beads. And now I'm going to be doing his back. So just kind of add that next bead sort of over the top, a little bit of the first one, and then just round it out for his back. And then I just kind of carved in where that hip and knee area goes. And I am just adding a little bit, but you want to try to keep it. There isn't too much painting done on this, so everything is done as far as being able to see where stuff goes. For the most part, it's going to be done in just the acrylic and the different heights. So kind of keeping that bubble appearance, like the little, different areas, is very important. I hope that's, I don't know, I've never used bubble as the word before, but it just has kind of like that, almost like a quilted bed, how it just kind of has little bumps that you can see that tells you where stuff is. So make sure that the different heights in the different areas of your rabbit are very defined. And the other thing with chocolate rabbits is that they have a very acrylic appearance at the end of it. So the texture the sheen that just set acrylic has before it's filed or messed with, I think is very similar to the appearance of chocolate. So I didn't add any top coat for the most part over him at all, which is great. But if you add any acrylic paint on it, you do have to top coat it, or the acrylic paint will eventually wear off. So if you can avoid using acrylic paint on your rabbit, that is the goal. So then for his head, at the back of his head, right about where that magnet is, you want to try to aim the back of your head to your magnet. You're going to want to just use the tip of your brush to sort of carve away, because they're hollow, the little inside area. And then with white acrylic, you're going to want to add his little white chocolate tail and his white chocolate eye. And also on his head, I added a little indent with just my brushes sort of pushed in, just to create a nice little resting spot for that white chocolate eye. And then you're also going to need just to add a touch of white on his nose. So now with light pink, I'm going to be adding that ribbon that I mentioned, just going right around the neck. So to start with, I'm just going to take and basically make a collar around him. It sounds kind of awful, but just add that light pink going around. Very simple, just little stripe. And then you're going to be making the actual bow part. You could do right on your rabbit, depending on the kind of bow that you're going for. There's a couple different ways to make bows, and my favorite way currently is to do them on a nail form backing. I used to always sculpt them right on things and just sort of press them out and create more of a petal style bow. And recently I've liked the more 3D sticky uppy folded look of the bow. So that's the kind I'm making. So I'm going to start by making this little I don't even know. It's almost like an infinity shape that's pointy, like a pointy infinity shape. Yeah, we're going to go with that. That's the best description I have at the moment. So just pat that out on a nail form backing and then let that set until it starts to turn matte. Once it starts to turn matte, and you can kind of play around with it, the more you make these things, the better your intuition is about when things are ready to be messed with. Then you're going to fold in the 2 points on the end into that center little indent, and then that's going to create your bow. And then you're just going to add a little bit of acrylic to the center to hold those pieces down so they don't just pop right back up. And then taking a little bit more of that light pink acrylic, add that to where your bow is going to go. Pick up your bow with the tweezers, set it down on top of the ribbon on top of your bunny. And hopefully it will stick. Mine was being a little bit of a stinker. Once that acrylic sets though, it's not going anywhere. So as soon as it sets, you're fine, but it didn't want to be set down, I guess. And then I'm going to add just a little bit for the center of the bow, that little bit of ribbon. Now, tightly wrap your rabbit right around the head area with some plastic wrap. Just any very stretchy plastic wrap will work. Add another magnet on top of the one that's already in the nail. So it goes nail, plastic, magnet. And then with more chocolate or brown acrylic, depending on how you want to think about it, you're going to need to be sculpting out his ears that are eventually eaten. So just take that and sculpt them out. And I actually took and I wrapped the plastic wrap around the top portion of the rabbit's head. I didn't do it around the rest of the nail. I just wanted it to be really tight around that area, but you can sort of stretch it over the head. That way your ears will actually cover up that hole that you made with the tip of your brush where it looks like it was eaten, which is ideal because you don't want anybody to know that these ears have been eaten. And unless you really look, they just blend together because it's the same color of brown. So just sculpt your 2 little ears over the top of that magnet. And I did create a very slight indent in the front ear, the forward-facing ear, and that way you can fill that in with some more white acrylic because his ears have a white chocolate filling in them. So just go over them just like that, and then you have your little earpiece made. So now you can take that off once it is set. Make sure that you hold that though until it's set because otherwise it's going to lose its shape. I'm just going to take white paint and make a little bit of a thought bubble. Right underneath where the ears go, I'm going to outline my thought bubble with some black paint, and right in the center of it, like I said, because his ears are gone, he can't hear what you're saying. He can see that you're talking to him, but what are you saying? I don't know. He doesn't know. And then add his pupil with black. And then you're going to want to take and add just a little white highlight and apply gel sealer over the background of the nail, so over that light blue and over the eye, because that's the only thing that has acrylic paint on it. You don't have to apply any top coat to the rest of the pieces, and everything else is just done. So I hope you guys like this. I think he's adorable, and this was definitely a priority on my Easter to-do list this year because I think it's so cute. And I will be making another 40 Easter design that will be uploaded tomorrow, so check back for that one. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!